Salutations, nerds. I'm going to start today with a song, at least a small bit of it, because I'm pretty sure immediately you all recognize it right off the bat. So, hit it.
Oh, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Oh, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Black Betty, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Black Betty, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Jump steady, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Jump steady, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Oh, Black Betty, bam ba lam. Oh.
It's November 19th, 2024, and for my technically fourth episode, I'm going to create an intro to a mini series that I'm going over that I decided to create because I think more folks like me communicating it can probably change more hearts and minds. And if I can change only one, I'm going to chalk that one up as a win. So make sure to like and subscribe if you like what I have to offer, and fact check me as much and as often as you would like. I welcome learning new things. Now, the name of this series isn't original in any way, shape, or form on my behalf, but it delivers my thesis for the series in just a few words. Black history is American history, where I'm going to Spartan kick our asses down this very long and fascinating well of knowledge that is Black history in the United States. Today's episode starts where we are and where we have been, so that we can properly navigate where to go from here together. The title of this episode is called Woke, and we are going to start it by revisiting that small portion of that song that was recorded in 1939 by the famous Huddie Ledbetter, otherwise better known as Leadbelly. And at least I think it was 1939. I'm pretty sure it was. Fact check me. Although there's still some speculation as to the origins of the song itself. Most believe it was an African-American work song that Huddie Ledbetter brought into the light from a culture that had, until that time, largely been ignored by the majority white America. And now is where I need to pause and give a sincere shout out here to the content creators who have been kind of keeping me up to speed this whole time, and keeping this information from falling away. Garrison Hayes is a brilliant man that I hope to have the fraction of the talent of one day, and Tennessee Brando, the Midas Touch Network, for keeping that good fight alive in deep red Tennessee. Check their channels out and subscribe to them if you haven't already. Now, this term woke, recently we've heard this term by those who have used it as a wide brush to cover the actual meaning. It's been co-opted by people who would rather demonize their fellow Americans instead of try to learn from them. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida and man with unforgettable footwear fashion sense, proudly declared a war on woke in the state of Florida, claiming that when you go woke, you go broke. And as proponents of the recent misuse of the term try to use it in municipalities and legislative chambers, they also don't seem to know what it even means. There are tons of footage of local and federal officials struggling to properly define the word they stamp onto everything that they don't approve of or understand in the middle of a legislative session on the record. Now, its original definition was to be aware of racial and cultural injustices taking place every minute of every day. Yet now it is a word that is used by primarily white conservatives to denounce anything that may challenge their traditional ways of life. And in no way is this by accident. In fact, it's a feature, not a bug. Like the term DEI, the word woke is now being synonymously interchanged with other more ignorant and nauseating language that has otherwise been shunned to the neckbeard incel shadows of 4chan. But beyond just shitty online comments, the term is now having real world effects. A bill introduced to the Florida legislature in April of 2022 called the Stop Woke Act, which actually undermined any education of race, racism, and privilege in any Florida classroom, also went after concepts such as trying to get rid of anything that has to do with the LGBTQ community. This was later renamed the Individual Freedom Act while maintaining the same horrid infrastructure. It prohibited schools and businesses from even discussing the premises of racial and social injustices that occur in professional settings across the Sunshine State. They come with the threat of being fired from your place of work or worse, relinquishing financial assets to schools that do not comply. In light of these actions, mountains of books have been burned, teachers fired, or they're just leaving their positions. Libraries turned into husks of their former selves, and students have been ostracized, shunned, and some have been harassed, abused, and subjected to cruelty that we, as white folks, don't and can't ever understand with any firsthand knowledge. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. Since then, a litany of other state-level government and political agendas have been aimed at this specific terminology. As of March 2024, Republican lawmakers in more than 30 states have attempted more than 100 individual legal challenges which ban or limits diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI initiatives. Unfortunately, the divide is clear. It is between fellow Americans who have a history at risk of being suppressed and white privileged men and women who don't want to hear it. They got theirs and they're not concerned about anything else. And that's why I chose to take the advice of a good friend of mine and start with the word woke in this series, because regardless of what you may think, a country's history is defined by its people. And from the Revolutionary War to the recent OEF and OIF campaigns, America's history is written by those who make the most tremendous of sacrifices for her or helped build her as that shining city on a hill. I want to go over the amazing contributions that made this country who we are today by the Black Americans that your history class knowingly or unknowingly chose to leave out, and their accomplishments which shaped us as a nation. So to those of you who the public education failed, stay tuned, because I hope you're ready to get woke the hell up. Until next time, stay decent.